What's up, everybody? This is Brady, and welcome back to the Low Life Podcast. That was a new song from the local band 7.62, and that song is called "The Duality of Man" off of their debut EP, Piles. Just came out like a week ago, or maybe not too long ago. Just came out though, so definitely check them out. They're slam deathcore band from here in the city, and yeah, you should definitely go check them out. I really dig it. It's heavy, it's sick, and yeah, I'll check it out. Anyways, I'm gonna start off kind of on a sad note. It sucks that I keep having to kind of talk about death, but unfortunately, that's life, and it happens every day, and it's just kind of something that everybody has to deal with at one point or another in their life. So, um, on I guess Sunday night, there was an accident here in the city. A guy tripped over something and was electrocuted and then fell into the Oklahoma City Canal and died. And I don't really, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the death more than that, but it turns out that it was somebody that was very involved with the Oklahoma City car community, especially the stance and slammed and that scene. So his name was Wes, and he had a really cool wide-bodied Hyundai Genesis, and I didn't know him super well. I've met him a few times at meets and talked to him, and I even have a picture of my car and his car together, and he was a very different dude, but he was always genuinely himself and super outgoing and just seemed to be kind of just a fun guy that people like to be around. And it really sucks, man, to just lose somebody that was so full of life and so full of energy and so young. I mean, he was only 23. He was a year younger than me, which I didn't even know that. I thought he was older than me. And I mean, it's crazy because I see his car almost every day when I'm at work. I deliver to a shop that's like right next door to his shop, so I see his car all the time, and it's just weird to like pass a building that you knew he was in almost every day, and then all of a sudden he's just gone. And I didn't think, oh, I didn't know him that well, so it won't affect me, but it has affected me because I see a lot of my friends who knew him who are also in the car community who were better friends with him than I was that are just super torn up about it and all this stuff and just can't believe it, and this really sucks. But there are a bunch of people who have put together we're gonna do a cruise for him, like a car cruise. We're all gonna drive and cruise out, and then there's gonna be a car meet after that. And it's as sad as the reason is, I know that it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I feel like that would be what he would want, is everybody to have fun. I don't think that he would want everybody to sit around and be sad. So that's gonna be a really cool event. So one last cruise for Wes, October 27th. I think we're gonna cruise out to Pops probably. I'm not sure where we're starting because they just made it last night, so it's still kind of in the works. Next week I'll probably have more information. The meet is gonna be at like 6 p.m. on that Saturday at Dave and Buster's. So that'll be where the meet is. I don't know what time we're gonna start the cruise and where we're gonna start any of that stuff, but so that's cool that car scene's getting together and gonna do something for him. It's just crazy. I mean, I see. I don't know, just kind of crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna move on from that. Try to pick up the mood a little bit here. So there are gonna be. Let's see. We're gonna talk about our shows for the week. Um, let's see. Is there anything coming up this week? The Dojo Showcase is this Saturday at 6 p.m. at the dojo in Midwest City. I've talked about it a bunch of times. Definitely be there. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be out of town this weekend, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be there. But definitely go to that. And let's see, Wednesday, October 10th is the Arctic Monkeys here in the city, if you care about that. The Neon Drift is October 20th. I've talked about that a couple times. And then the stuff for West. So I don't have a whole lot of else show wise. So moving on from there. Uh, in other show news, I don't know that this tour, I don't think it's coming here, but I saw a really interesting tour. Um, I used to like the band Shinedown a lot when I was a kid, and they're about to go on a tour, not like a super long tour, but they're going on tour with Papa Roach, which is a band I could see them touring with, another popular rock band, but also Asking Alexandria is going on that tour, which I find very interesting because, they're more metalcore metal band, like maybe not as much now as they used to be, but definitely when they started, they were like stupid heavy, sceney, screamy band. So I find it really interesting that some of these bigger bands that have been around for a little while are taking some of these bands a little bit out of their vein to kind of bring in a younger crowd. I've seen it before with Papa Roach. They took out, I think it was The Day to Remember, which was like, it was like kind of like surprising, but also like it made sense because Papa Roach is like kind of trying to make a comeback. So of course they're gonna tour with some younger bands that are kind of in the same alternative sound as them, even if it's not exactly the same. So I thought that that was really interesting to line up and tour. Shinedown, Papa Roach, Asking Alexandria. If you're not from Oklahoma, see if it's coming to your city. I don't, pretty sure I checked the flyer and it's probably not coming here, which that's fine. But so yeah, if you like those bands, and then I guess we're just gonna jump into our throwback jams for the week. So my throwback jams for this week, well, it's jams. It's one album, but is the Avenged Sevenfold self-titled album. I don't know why. I just the other day I woke up and I was like singing Afterlife or something like that in my head. I was like, why is that song in my head? I haven't listened to that album in forever. And then I got to work and it was like still in my head. I was like, I need to download this album. So I did. I downloaded that album because I forgot how good it was. And I've just been listening to it for the past couple days. And it's a really good album, really solid if you just like that style of metal. It's kind of a classic album. There's a lot of songs from this album that were on the radio. So it's weird because I don't ever hear Avenged Sevenfold on the radio anymore. But I remember like half of this album getting played on the radio when it came out. So it's weird that it's not now. But I definitely credit Avenged Sevenfold for like partially shaping the music that I listened to because they were like one of the first heavier metal bands that I got into next to like Bullet and like Atreyu. This was like one of the first like metal CDs that I bought on my own. Was their not this CD but the CD right before this, City of Evil. It's like one of the first metal band CDs that I bought. So if you like, if you remember this and you're like, oh man, I haven't listened to that forever, definitely go give it another listen. Kind of get a little nostalgic throwback. It's really good. I think it still holds up pretty well quality wise, and it doesn't really sound aged or anything to me. I mean, it might if you're still a current fan of them and you listen to their new stuff, which I don't think sounds like this anymore, obviously, but definitely go give it another listen if it's been a minute. And then my new jam for this week is an album by the band Beartooth, and this album literally like just came out last week, maybe like Friday. It's a new band by or a new album by the band Beartooth called Disease. I've already gave it a listen, like the whole thing. I listened to it that whole thing that Friday at work. I was just like, okay, oh shit, I gotta hear this because I really like Beartooth. I remember when they first came out and their first EP came out, and I was so about it, and they were so popular, and I would just beat that EP to death. And then their full length came out after that, and it was really, really, really good. I listened to that like on repeat, and then they put out an album after that called, I think it was called Disgusting, and I didn't like it. Like me and my buddy just went and listened to it. Okay, let's go listen to the new Beartooth album. And we got like four songs in, and we were just like, this sucks. We don't want to listen to it anymore. Like, it was just like the same song. Oh, no, it's not called Disgusting. It's called Aggressive. That was their 2016 album. I just remember like just every song sounded the same and it just sounded super repetitive and it was just really boring to me. I just didn't like it. And so that was why I went super had to be a little optimistic going into this album, but I really actually like this new album way more than the last one. It does have a few songs on here that are kind of repetitive. I mean, Caleb, their vocalist, kind of writes all of the music, from what I understand. So, I mean, that could be kind of why. Maybe he just has a certain writing style, and but there are some songs on here that are different than their last stuff. My favorite song is Bad Listener because it doesn't have like a cheesy singy chorus. Like it's all him screaming, which he hasn't done in a long time. So, and it's still got good breakdowns, and there are a couple other songs on here that have like really good breakdowns. So, definitely check out this album. It's got a lot of singy choruses with like a kind of generic breakdown that they do, but it's got some songs that aren't as heavy and some songs that are pretty heavy and kind of then some very punky rock riffs. I don't know. It's just different. It's better than their last album by far. So definitely go check out that album, Disease by Beartooth. I'm digging it. Hopefully you are also digging it. Yeah. So my main topic for this week is actually going to be car related. I actually kind of thought of something to talk about also because it's relevant. It just happened. But every year in a little small town called Ocean City, Maryland, for like the last 20 years has been an event called H20 International or just H20. I think it didn't used to be called International. Anyway, it is a Audi Volkswagen car meet that they have done in the city, but it's usually like modified Audis and modified Volkswagens, like slammed and stanced and bagged and just super crazy builds. And then over time, it kind of became an everything. It didn't, over time, it wasn't just Audis and Volkswagen. There'd be Hondas, Toyotas, whatever you slammed and stanced and bagged, you would bring it. And over the last couple years, the city has kind of gotten tired of it because it's a small city and there's a huge all these slammed cars doing burnouts and taking up parking lots and all this stuff, and I guess the city was not very fond of it, and so they told them they couldn't have it there anymore. And I think the people who actually host it and like because they have like a set place where there's like a car show and trophies and all that stuff, but I guess H2O, whoever runs it, officially moved it to like Atlantic City in like New Jersey. But everybody was like, "No, we don't want to go there. The whole reason we like it is because of where it is and the roads and the vibe of the city. It's like literally like a strip of island on the Atlantic Ocean off of Maryland. Like it's a super little tiny place, but and so, like, for the last 2 or 3 years, they have continued going to Ocean City unofficially, even though that's not where, like, the actual meet even happens anymore. It's really interesting. And so, like, now it's got this really, really bad reputation as, like, the most ticketed car show, like, in the country because Ocean City doesn't put up with this shit. Like they're just like it's pretty much just a cash grab for them at this point because so many people go there and they just literally will pull anybody over for anything they can and they will tow your car and they will ticket you. And I think over this last one, it was like the 28th to the 30th, so it was last week. Like 70 people got arrested for like I'm sure extremely dumb shit. And it's so crazy and like bizarre to me. Like I really want to go, but also don't want to get, ticketed. Obviously, I'm not going to drive my car all the way across the country. I'd probably just fly there and hang out with somebody. I don't know, but because I've seen videos. I've known about it for like 2 years, and I've seen so many videos from it, and it just looks like one of the most insane things. And it's just a really weird like meet that's super big in the car culture, like slam stance import car world, where like just everybody goes, especially if you live on the East Coast. There's a bunch of YouTubers that I watch that live in like Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, all these like eastern states, and they drive down there for this. They drive to Maryland for this event and like take videos and all this stuff and drive up and down the streets, go to meets, do burnouts, whatever, whatever they can get away with. And it's really crazy. The first person I ever actually saw a video from is a guy who does like professional car videos on his channel for a living. His name is Crispy, and he makes these movies called after movies. They're like it's just because it lasts like a week. It's like 3 4 days, and he just films all these really cool cars all week up and down the street. He'll go and set up a little meet somewhere in like a cool hotel or an abandoned building or at a party or whatever, and it's just some of the most incredible looking, most high quality footage you will ever see. And it's like 45 minutes long. I remember the first one, I was like, what? Why is this video so long if it's just like a car meet or whatever? But it's literally like a short film, and it's shot so well that it just like blew my mind. So now, like every year, I get all hyped to see this after movie, and he's not the only one. There's some I've watched two or three or four other YouTubers who like this is the only reason they go to get this like super dope movie of like all these cars doing burnouts or drifting or driving up and down the road, getting towed, getting pulled over. People stand on the corner of some of the stoplights and like try to get people to do stuff. Like it's so insane to me. Like it's just like the weirdest thing. I don't know. It's something about it so interesting to me. And so I yeah, I look forward to every year Crispy's video because like everything that he does is just like perfection. But he normally doesn't put his out for another month or two after the actual event because he works on it for so long. Plus he's working on so many other videos, I'm sure. And a couple people have already kind of put together a little one that I watched, but they're not like as quality, and they weren't shot with like $10,000 cameras like Crispy. Like Crispy literally has like $10,000 worth of gear on him at like any given time, which I think is just super crazy. But so yeah, that's H20i, H2O International. If you've never heard of it, look it up. If you've never seen anything from it, go just Google H2OI, or I mean YouTube it. You'll find a ton of videos, and you'll just be like, what? These people are crazy. Some of the stuff that they do there, and some of the cars are so clean and so beautiful. And the fact that they still go there unofficially, like even though H2OI doesn't even host it there anymore, all these people still go there and like make this crazy place for like a weekend. It's really cool. It's like it's crazy. These people are crazy. So yeah, H2OI that just happened. Be on the lookout for some after movies. Definitely check out Crispy with a Krispy on YouTube. Check out some of his other stuff. He Everything he does is like just the most highest quality, incredible work. I mean it. Like I know I've said that like 5 times now, but seriously, like it's so good. So yeah, check him out. So I think that's probably gonna be it for this week. I think I've talked about all the shows and everything. Like I said, if you're from the car scene and you knew Wes or knew of Wes or just want to support, like I said, there's gonna be a cruise and a meet for him October 27th. It'll probably be like an all day kind of thing. Like we're all gonna cruise, hang out, cruise back to the city, go to the meet. It'll be a lot of fun. I haven't got to do anything like that with like everybody here before. I would normally miss out on like the cruises and stuff. I always catch the meets, but like never the cruises. So and I haven't been to Pops in a while. So this will be a lot of fun. It you know it kind of sucks for the reason, but you gotta celebrate good people and celebrate the beautiful life, and like such the amazing person that he was. Like I said, I was never that close to him, but I knew of him, and I knew a lot of friends who I have a lot of friends who are good friends with him, and I've heard nothing but good things about him, and I just kind of have seen the person that he was and how important he was to people. So definitely come out, support that. Even if you're not, don't have a crazy car, find somebody to ride with. I'd say ride with me, but I can't have multiple people in my car. But or just drive with us anyway. Meet us at Pops. Just come have a good time and just celebrate. A beautiful soul that we lost. But anyway, this has been the Low Life Podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing, giving me feedback, whatever it is you do, however it is you do it. I'm very appreciative. I'm Brady. Peace.